I need bourbon for my blues, a special love to set the mood, hearts and hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. Times are tough and love is rare, with a broken heart, with an empty stare. Inspiration, what it takes. Liquid love to break the hate. I need a home where I get in. From a saint I turn to sin. My sorrows drown, I drink it down. How many days I'm giving praise. I need bourbon for my blues. The only way to win is lose. A poison hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. Wreck my dreams, wreck my life. Wreck my body, lose my wife. Price I pay to sing the saddest song. Bleeding hearts bleeding out until it's all long gone. There's a demon, she is tempting me. Gives me a thirst so desperately. And now I just can't seem to stop this train. I crash myself into a river of pain. I need bourbon for my blues, a special love to set the mood, poison hearts that we must choose. So I'm killing bourbon for my blues. I need bourbon for my blues. If I drink enough, I'll make the news. For this guitar I will abuse. I think it's time to turn me loose.
And welcome to Off the Cuff on the Bluff with your host, Dane Franklin. Me. Tonight, our guest is Patti Possel, and she works at the Shelby County Election Commission. She's going to tell us all how to become a poll worker and not the one down at the corner of Summer and White Station, the Gold Club. Anyway, on to better things. Let me give you a little bit of background on Patti. Her name is Patricia Possel, and one of the things that she told me was that she is the only Patricia Possel, I think in the country, maybe the world, but at least in the United States. She's a dedicated community leader and a longtime Republican activist with a record of service in Shelby County. She's deeply committed to strengthening grassroots engagement, supporting conservative principles, and fostering civic involvement through her community. Patti has served in a variety of leadership roles within the Republican Party, where she is known for her organizational skills, collaborative approach, and unwavering dedication to public service. She has played an integral role in coordinating party events, supporting candidates, and helping grow participation at the local and district levels. Last spring, she was appointed to the member of the Shelby County Election Commission, where she currently serves. I'm a little tired. It's okay. I'll get over it. Beyond her political involvement, Patti is respected for her commitment to community service and her passion for bringing people together around shared goals. She believes that meaningful progress happens when individuals step forward, stay engaged, and work side by side for the good of their community. Patti continues to be an active and trusted voice driven by belief in service, integrity, and the importance of civic responsibility. Welcome to the show, Patti. Let me get you on. Hey there.
Thank you, Dean. How are you?
I'm well. How
Good to
about yourself?
I'm well. Very well. Thank you. Guess I could tip this down a bit. Maybe not. I need to come up a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah. You had a rough day today.
Oh,
Tired.
it's yeah, long days, and I don't usually work this hard, but we're not 30 anymore. Me and the guy that I'm helping. So I want to pull up first. I'm gonna take us to a different setting here, and I want to play this. This is from the, let's see, I think it is Local 24. And I'm going to play a bit of this. I'm not going to play the entire thing, but I want your thoughts on this after.
Well, thank you for joining us on 24 Plus. I'm ABC 24 anchor Pepper Baker. It is a big election year, especially for Shelby County, and we are profiling key races this year, and that includes the race for Tennessee's 9th Congressional District seat. So you may personally know this candidate, or you've seen his face before. Joining me now is Tennessee State Representative Justin J. Pearson. Justin, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Pepper. I'm so excited.
No, most definitely. So we are going to talk about your campaign for Congress, but I would be remiss if we didn't handle some timely matters first. So this week, there was a claim you made that Shelby County voters, 25% of Shelby County voters were purged from the system after a glitch with the voter registration lookup on the Secretary of State's website. I want to give you the time to kind of clear the air on how you found that out, what you did about it, and what voters need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you so much for that. So 25% of voters in Shelby County are actually listed as inactive. They're not purged. And so that's what I want to make sure people understand, and that's what I was sharing. And I thank Clerk Sawyer for bringing it to light that people were not able to find their voter registration files. And so I reached out to Secretary of State Trey Hargett, and I actually went to his office, just walked there and met with him to learn what do we need to do to make sure that these 25% of our voters, which is roughly 143,000 people, actually retain access to the ballot. What it means to be inactive is that in the last 4 years, someone has not voted. And if they do not vote within the next 4 years, they will be purged, which means Shelby County is facing a cliff, where if people who are a part of that 143 don't engage in the political process in the next 4 years, they will no longer be eligible to vote. And so actually, I'm working with the Tennessee Caucus of Black State Legislators on an initiative called Activate Tennessee, and they've asked me to lead that. And we're going to get together with our Divine Nine organizations, civic organizations, to start reaching out to people via phone to let them know they have to participate. We know that voting is a right and it shouldn't be a privilege, but Tennessee state law treats it more like a privilege. And if you don't use it, you can lose it.
So that glitch honestly uncovered some really important information about status for Shelby County voters at this moment, especially in a big year that we're in right now. We did show that Facebook post. It was both Clerk Sawyer and your Facebook post right next to each other with the claim and whatnot. So a lot of people that I spoke with when we were trying to verify the information were a little concerned at how fast you all's initial posts spread on social media. So I just want to ask, is there any accountability on just how much influence you do have with what you put out there and the information you put out there, and just making sure everybody knows what is real and what is true and what is not?
Absolutely. I mean, I have a significant platform and a lot of supporters in this district and in this community, which is why we actually did research to find out the weekend before actually this news started to happen that 25% of our voters were inactive. And so I was already working on this when the technical glitch was found by Clerk Sawyer. But what is not a glitch, and what I need people to understand, is that 25% of the people who are currently registered in Shelby County have been listed as inactive. And that was the fact that I shared in my comment, which was later turned into a post. The truth of the matter is, if we do not engage people in this political process, and I'm speaking to myself as a candidate and other candidates, we are facing potentially 25% of the people who are currently registered not being able to vote when they are purged in 2029. And so one of my responsibilities, right, when sharing information is to make sure we have research, which we do, going to the source, which is the Secretary of State, which I did, and also reaching out to Linda Phillips, who's the leader of Shelby County Election Commission, and she and I spoke early in the morning to discuss how can we make sure that those voters get engaged. And I know there's a lot of emphasis on voter registration, but we have to do some work on voter mobilization. And I think this is raising attention about our need to participate in civics and to get people in our families, in our communities, more engaged in the process so that they don't lose the right to vote.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point there.
I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right. So
your thoughts?
Okay, for number one, let's make sure there's clarification. 25% of the voter roll was not like thrown out, right? I mean, he initially was saying, hey, 25% were knocked off the voter roll.
Right.
Becoming inactive is not getting knocked off the voter roll. It's saying, hey, you haven't voted in 4 years. Are you still there? And so we at the commission's job is to, because state law requires us to do this, is to move them to an inactive list.
Right.
And then when we started this earlier last year, and we started with District 13, we're doing county commission districts, and we're doing them backwards. So everybody who's on the inactive list gets a postcard at the address for which they were registered. And then, if that postcard gets returned to Shelby County Election Commission because that person no longer lives there,
right,
then that's it. Then we purge that person, right? Because they no longer are there. And you have to vote from the address from where you live, right? Because that's your district. So that's number one. These people are not removed. Now he's talking about, and he's, we got to talk about 25% of these people, are being moved to the inactive list.
Right.
Okay. Being moved to the inactive list is just saying, hey, I'm going to eventually get that postcard, right? When my district gets called up and we get to your name. Right. But you're not removed. And if you walked in and, first election up this year will be the 5th of May. And say you're on that inactive list and you come in, Dean Franklin, and you say, hey, I haven't voted for a while. And then we're like, yeah, we see that you're on the inactive list. Well, the people are trained, at the polling location, and then you go to another desk and then, you get to vote. So being on the inactive list just means you haven't been in a while, and we want to make sure that you still live where you live. Right. So that's all that means. Now he's all up in arms about this 25%. Let's talk about how many people actually vote in Shelby County on average in a non-presidential year, which is what we're in right now. Tell me, out of this over 600,000 people that are in the voter rolls, what is the percentage on average in a non-presidential year do Shelby Countyans get out and vote? What percent get out and vote in a non-election, non-presidential year on average?
My best guess might be anywhere from 15 to 25%.
22%
Okay.
in 2024.
Wow.
If I did the math right, and I did that a long time ago, so if I recall correctly, that's what it was.
Right.
And here's this is a sad statistic. We were one of the best counties across the state. There are counties out there that have less than 10% of their voters getting out and voting. Whole
Right.
county, less than 10%. So he was saying that, you know, from his perspective, it's, you know, some people want to make it a privilege to vote. Well, it is a privilege to vote. Look around the world. Go hit a third world country and say, hey, I get the right to vote, but I don't exercise it. They would be very upset with you because it's like, man, if I had that right, man, that's a privilege. You don't
Right.
even know how lucky you are to have that privilege. Now I'm older. My kids are grown and gone. But what we try to instill in our kids, it's not just a privilege. It's a responsibility. It's your job in living in this beautiful country that we have. Our constitutional republic requires we, the citizens, to participate.
Right.
So all three of my kids don't want to face their mama by saying, I didn't bother to go vote, because that's something that's always been very important to me and my husband. And we instilled that in our own children, who hopefully are instilling it in their children. And if not, then the grandmommy's going to come get them. So it's a right and it's a privilege all rolled up, and a responsibility too. So get out and vote. Now, one of the other things he said that I think very differently on, and that is he wants to make it the election commission's responsibility for people to get out and vote. It is not the election commission's responsibility to encourage people to get out and vote, although all of us want them to do that, because obviously, you know, that is our passion, right? We
Right.
want them to do that. I want to instill that responsibility and privilege in anybody I met that is not a voter. But it's not our job. Our job is to make sure that we conduct fair and open elections. So that's our job as a commission, to give
Right.
you the opportunity to make sure the polling locations are convenient for you to get to, not have any barriers for you to get to those locations. And when you're there, you're greeted, you know, in a friendly environment that you feel comfortable to express who you want to vote for in a secret way and fairly, and that your vote matters and it's counted only once, and we're good to go, right?
Right.
That's our job.
Right.
It's the candidate's job. And quite honestly, I mean, a lot of people put it on the candidate. Obviously, I don't. I put it on the citizens. It's the citizens' responsibility to participate in our constitutional republic by going and voting. So it depends on, you know, who you feel is responsible, but I feel it's everybody's responsibility to go and vote.
Right. All right. Let's go back to the other screen, and I'm going to pop up another screen share. Let me see. This one here, maintaining voter registration rolls.
Yes.
I've had several people ask me about that, and I'm not. I mean, I've only worked the polls one time, and it was
Okay.
it was fun. It was actually fun. I had a good time.
Good.
I asked to be put in the deepest Democrat polling place, and I was down in Orange Mound, I think, at the community center. Great place, though.
It's a very nice place. I've been there.
Yep, it was a great place. Because I mean, I've heard some people say something about, you know, are the voter rolls being maintained, are the
Yes.
registration rolls being maintained, and just like with, I had a question about the Shelby County budget. It's required by Tennessee law that they've got to give a budget, one that works, I guess, and sometimes they have issues with it, and they
Balance.
a
Gotta
balanced
balance.
budget. Yes, thank you, thank you. The same is required for maintaining voter registration rolls, and there's two Tennessee code annotated, 105 and 106.
So that's what Justin was talking about. And he wants to be up in arms going, oh my gosh, 25% of the voter roll is moved to inactive. Well, this is us maintaining this voter roll, right?
Right.
Because if you're not showing up, why aren't you showing up? Did you forget to tell me that you moved out of the area?
Right.
Is it, you passed away? Are you incapacitated in some way? Sorry, right?
Okay.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know what you're not showing up. Sorry.
Take a drink.
Right? We don't know all 600,000 people that live here.
Right.
So if some reason you're not showing up and it's 4 election cycles, well, we move you to inactive. And if you end up coming back, great. It's easy.
Right.
You get
Well, I mean,
reinstated. And if not, you get that postcard. And if you don't respond to the postcard, then we're going to purge you, right? Because we
Right.
don't want people to have, they go and register in another state. Well, they can't be here. Now we get some data. If you go and register elsewhere, you're going to get booted off of here too.
Right. Well, I mean, he could easily go to the same website I've got pulled up. I mean, it says Tennessee law requires or regulates when a voter must be removed from the registration rolls under those two laws that I said. A voter registration is permanent unless the voter asked to be removed from the rolls in writing, has a name change for any reason except marriage or divorce, and fails to tell y'all within 90 days, they die. Well, of course, they're not going to vote, and they're going to be removed if they die. Is convicted of a felony, moves outside the county, or has registered to vote in another jurisdiction, which is what you were talking about, fails to respond to written notice as a result of an address verification notice. And you just stated that as well. And then it says fails to vote in 2 subsequent consecutive regular November elections. I guess that's federal.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, it's easy to find out this information. I mean, we all can't just go strolling into Trey Hargett's office and ask him, what's up with this? What's up, Willis?
And just going, when you could have just looked it up yourself, especially considering you have a legislative assistant,
right?
And then go on the news to kind of hype it up as if it's something that it is not, which is we do maintenance and that's it.
Right. Okay. Let's see. I was, you can't, I mean, you can pull stuff up on Chat GPT, and I was going to post something on Facebook about that, but, because I mean, it's all, everything's human. I mean, so there's going to be some failures and some breakdowns, even going to Chat GPT. But I was looking at something that said, according to a recent statement from state officials on recent maintenance, since January 2026, Shelby County reported 2,871 voters purged from the rolls. I guess that's people that have moved. Well, it said of those 2,361 were deceased, and 499 had moved. 3 were convicted of felony charges, making them ineligible. 6 were removed for judicial reasons. What would that be?
Well, judicial means they have some kind of judgment against them that would preclude them from voting.
Oh, okay.
So probably felony.
Yeah, and then it talks about just exactly what he was talking about. 25% of registered voters in Shelby County are marked as inactive, and you given the details on all that. So tell us about the. Let me pull this. Let me go back to this other page here. I work this all by myself.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna pull this, change this out.
Okay.
And let's talk about becoming a poll worker.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm kind of excited about this. You do get paid to be a poll worker. Okay, so we have poll workers that pretty much routinely will, step up and work during early voting. So right now, we have plenty of early voting workers. But on election day, and we have 26 early voting sites, right? Some people call them convenience sites, but and they're in and around town, all over Shelby County. There's 26 of them. And the 3 weeks prior to election day, you can go and vote early, right?
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
at the convenience centers. And we've got adequate numbers of both Republicans and Democrats to work early voting. But what we don't have adequate numbers is on election day. Now we go from 26 early voting sites to 142 precinct level polling locations. And the original idea before they went to these early voting sites is, you break it down into neighborhoods, which are called precincts, right?
Right. Right.
And then hopefully you get people who live in the neighborhood to work the polls. So let's just say Susie Q comes walking through the door and Johnny knows Susie Q lives across town, but she's going to try and vote, at this precinct that he lives in and that he's working. He's going to recognize her as somebody that shouldn't be there, right? That would throw up a red flag. And then also, if you have it in everybody's neighborhood, basically, they should have access to it, right? Because it's somewhat close to their homes. So you break it down, you have 142 of them here in Shelby County. Well, if you have to have about a dozen people working 144 or 142 locations, you need approximately, in very round numbers, about 1,500 workers for that day.
Okay.
Right? Now, each one of those polling locations, just like in the early voting sites, you want about 50% Republican, 50% Democrat. Because if everybody in the place is one or the other and you have equal numbers, it kind of bumps you up with the perception that you have some integrity, right? Because the Democrats are going to be eyeballing the Republicans, and the Republicans are eyeballing the Democrats to make sure everybody walking through the door gets one ballot, one vote, it's cast, and everybody's happy. So it's a check and balances, right?
Right.
Here in Shelby County, we're about 400 people shy to get that 50-50 balance when we're shy of Republicans.
450 Republicans, yeah?
Correct. Out of the basically 1,500, you'd need 750 each.
Right.
Basically, we have 350 Republicans, and we're shy 400.
Oh, okay.
So we're not even at half for Republicans. So my plea to your audience and everybody else to spread the word, take a day off if you're working on election day. It's a civic duty, right?
Right.
And you get paid. So it's not like, you can get your vacation pay and then you get paid too. You're part of the process. It's not hard lifting work. It is a long day. You've worked it. I've worked it. It is a long day, especially if you are working in a place where the numbers didn't balance. A lot of people don't know that too. There's some math behind all of this, right?
Right.
How many
Right.
ballots came into your polling location, and you got to walk out the door with the exact same number. So, there's paperwork and stuff like that, but it's a team effort. Many hands make light work. It's enjoyable work. You get to meet some other people that you don't know. And like you said, you got to go to another area of town you don't normally frequent and got to know
Right.
some people that are good. And I did the same thing. I worked over on Jackson, I think the last 4 election days. I worked over there, and we've kind of got a little team going over there that I look forward to seeing them every election day. So
Right. Right. Well, yeah, I
they're
mean,
good people.
I had a good time. I mean, I had no idea what to expect. Uh, especially going down there. And I mean, there were, uh, I think what have you got? The person completely in charge of everybody. What is their title?
So you've got an officer and a deputy.
Right.
And so the officer, is the person that's in charge of that precinct location.
Right.
But they also have supervisors you have regional people that come around and check too. But the officer is the one that, signs on the dotted line and makes
Right.
sure things are set up properly and tells the worker bees, you're at this station or that station, that kind of thing.
Right. I know we had a couple of issues whenever I was there. I think a guy came in from Arkansas and tried to vote, and they,
And that
that didn't work. They, I mean, everybody was polite. They talked to him about it and said, you've got to actually vote in Arkansas because that's where your driver's license is from. Well, I just moved to Memphis or whatever. Well, until you get that license,
show ID.
you-
You got to give
yeah,
me your ID to prove where you are.
right. But and I can't remember the lady's name, the main or the officer or whatever. But she was the Democrat, and then the guy with
Deputy.
her was the deputy, was the Republican or whatever. But she, eh, everything was so cohesive. She was a great lady to work with, and she worked just as hard as everybody else. I mean, she didn't sit
yeah.
back and watch everybody work. No.
No. You don't get to do that. I've been the officer. I've been the deputy. I've been the worker bee. I've worked all the different stations. I can tell you a little fun story. So when I was the officer, it was an August election day. It's hot here in August. Since you're new to the area,
Right.
August is hot, and this particular campaign manager. So there was a candidate, and this location that I was working. If you can visualize, it's a smaller church. They have a small parking lot. They have they're in a neighborhood, but they're on a main drag. But there's a neighborhood, right across the street from them, regular little houses, and basically the way this particular location is set up, you don't have a place for the candidates to give informational materials to the voters. They park their car and basically they're inside the 100-foot line, right? Because if you're working a campaign, you have to be outside of 100 feet. And so this particular campaign manager thought, well, that's not right. I need to talk to these voters. And it's like, yeah, but you have to be outside the 100-foot line. And so we would, and this was up the food chain, not my call. They allowed the campaign workers to stand in this one parking spot. They couldn't wander the parking lot. They could only stand in this one parking spot, and that was it. And he just thought he should be up by the door. And it's like, no, dude, You can't be up by the door. And I'm a tall person. I stand 5'10" without shoes.
Right.
Um, this guy had a good 6 inches on me. So, it's a cock the head. And I was wearing shoes, so I was probably 6 foot. So he was, 6'6" or whatever, big guy. And he just thought he was going to tell me what to do.
He didn't know you very well, did he?
He didn't know me at all. And my deputy, he was maybe 5'1", maybe. I mean, she could fit underneath my arm, literally. And she was such a sweet little thing. Well, one of the voters came in, they complained because this guy is, up by the door. And we can't see out. So, they came in and said, this dude's there. So I go, well, I'll go address it. And one of the other worker bees said, oh my gosh, she's going out there by herself. You better get out there and give her some backup. So my little 5'1" compadre comes out there, and she's shaking like a leaf. And this guy's giving me the what fors. And I just stood there very calmly and just said, no, sir, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to get back over there, or I'm going to clear this entire place. And the other, campaigns are going, no, don't take that woman off. No, she's going to give us all the boot. Just get over here. Don't blow it for all of us. And he really thought he was going to give me the what fors. And he's like, I'm going to call the cops. And I said, no, I already got him on speed dial. I'll call him for you. I have no problem. You get over there right now, or by the time they get here, I'm going to have the whole thing cleared. And so my supervisor did come by and just said, look, if she needs to call me, and the cops came too. If she needs to call me, we're patrolling right here. We'll be here in 2 minutes, and we will clear the parking lot. So he did that, and I walked back in, and my poor little compadre is just going, oh my God. Can you give me a drink? I need to have a seat. I can't believe you didn't back down. I said, no, of course not. You can't back down. You just can't. It's about election integrity. And I did not want my voters. And I can tell you, I am a Republican, but in that particular precinct, it's 99.9% Democrat. So, that's who I'm servicing, all Democrats. I mean, a very occasional Republican. And again, it's less than 22% of 1%, right, coming through the door.
Right.
But all voters, if you're stepping up, you are neutral on that day. Absolutely neutral. And you have to treat everybody fairly. And, and those voters don't like to be intimidated. Some people call it running the gauntlet, and nobody likes that.
Right. And a lot of people don't even understand that in the state of Tennessee, we don't register as Republican or Democrat. We're all independents, correct?
That's right. It's open. You can go in and be a Republican this month and be a Democrat next month. It is not the same as I've lived in other states. I mean, you had to register as one or the other. And it was an ordeal to switch. But here we have open primaries. So you can declare every single time that you come in, whether you are a D or an R or an independent. I mean, you don't have to be either one. But we at the Election Commission are going to treat you fairly. So, I hope your listeners are listening and maybe stepping up. And you also get paid to be trained. We will train you, and those incidents like with that guy are very rare. Very, very rare. There are better things out there, better stories. There's one from 2024 election. I had an older, not old, he's probably my age, in the 60s range, a gentleman that came in, and he wanted to vote. And he was not in the poll pad. He was not on the voters roll, and he wasn't on there because he was a convicted felon. He had made a mistake when he was 17 or 18 years old.
Right.
And he sat out all of these years. He served his time, you know, and he was out and he'd been living a clean life a good 40 years. And he wanted to be a part of the voting block in 2024.
Right.
And so he sat across the table from me. I was at the provincial ballot table and, you know, trying to figure out why he wasn't in the poll pad, which, you know, we do a little research, find out that he was eliminated because of the mistake he made. And he sat across the table from me and started to cry. And he goes, I've lived a clean life. When can this be over? You know, I was a young kid. I made a bad mistake. And, you know, and so I told him, hey, have you thought about checking out to see if you could get your citizen, it's called getting your citizens' rights restored. You know, have you tried to get it, your record expunged? And I know Heidi Kuhn, who's the criminal court clerk, has expungement clinics. Amy Wyrick did it when she was the DA as well. And so, you know, that there's those kinds of stories too. And so after I tried to help this guy as best I could and gave him the resources, and I said, you know, let's get it, can't do anything about it today,
Right.
but tomorrow you can make a phone call and start this process so that the next election cycle you can be potentially, you know, I don't know all the rules and regulations for getting it expunged and getting your rights restored, but at least explore it and see if you're able to do it. And when it was all said and done, and we had balanced and we had to take the things out to Shelby Farms to turn in the results. And I was the deputy that time, and the officer said to me as we're driving out, she goes, you really surprised me today. And I said, really, why? And she said, well, there was this man that came in. She goes on to describe this gentleman.
Right.
And she goes, you actually wanted to help him. And I said, well, yeah, why not? And she goes, more than likely he was a Democrat. And I said, okay. And she goes, you're a Republican. She goes, that shocked me. And I just thought, Republicans are good people too.
Right. Right.
know?
Well, I mean, I mean, working a poll, we're not Republicans or Democrats. Really,
No.
we're there to help
We're
the
there
public.
to serve.
Right.
We're there to serve. End of
Right.
story.
I'm looking at the poll worker. So you can be, as long as you're a resident of Shelby County, you have to be at least 16. Correct? Is that correct?
Yeah, 16-year-olds will hire 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. Of course, you can be a full worker then. The 16 and 17-year-olds, they have limited responsibilities, right?
Right.
They can't do all the different things, like they can't sign any of the documents or anything
Right.
like that. Because, you know, there's things that the deputy officer signed, but we also have witnessed by
Right.
both too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I remember at the end of the night, everybody had to sign off on something. We had to write something about the official or the officer or whatever, and this, that, and the other. But yeah, I mean, it says on election days, are you willing to work from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.? Well, I
It's a long
think,
day.
yes, I think somebody reached out to me to be there at about 5:45 or something like that. So I mean, and I go everywhere I go, I get at least 30 minutes early. So I think I was there about 5:30. And I think we finally drove out of there about 8 o'clock at night. But folks, poll workers make $280 for the day plus the $60. Is that still correct?
Mhm.
For the training?
For training.
Right. So, you know, I mean, you know, I think
a couple of hours. I mean, it's not bad pay for training.
no, absolutely not. It's like somewhere 2 or 3 hours or something like that, maybe 4 at the most.
No, it's not. I don't think it's 4.
About 2 hours.
No, it's probably closer to 3 because basically we average about $20 an hour.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, and it's right there at Nixon, across from the penal farm, in case you haven't been there. Or you can train downtown. There's a
Okay.
location downtown as well.
I'm going to take myself off.
Adams.
I'm going to take myself off the screen for a second and pop Lisa Arnold's question up for you. I'm going to put
Okay.
you.
Hey, Lisa. Lisa? Ask Patty if there's any rules against a candidate having a cookout with free food and very loud, obnoxious music distractions as people are trying to enter the poll. So you can have a cookout as long as you're outside the 100-foot line. So there are noise ordinances. That has nothing to do with election day. You're not allowed to be obnoxious, Lisa. I know you try really hard not to be. But
Lisa's awesome.
you can have a cookout as long as you're outside that 100-foot line. You can give away all the free weenies you want.
Is there anything else you want to add to this tonight?
If you have any questions, go to, we just got a brand new website, which I think has some awesome information about candidates, polling locations, check your voting status, especially if you're, part of that, what would it be, 78% that tend not to vote. And you want to see if you're on the inactive list, or, you want to get that cleaned up before election day, right there. So that is elections with an S, shelbytn.gov. Go there and you can see information about voters, candidates, elections, and then hit the poll workers, because I want everybody to become a poll worker. And then the fun facts there, poll workers, FAQSs, they have some really nice questions. What can you do? How to do it? Should I plan breakfast, lunch, and dinner? That would be a yes, because you will get hungry. And once you're there, you can't leave.
That's right.
DoorDash is great. So
I didn't even, I took my lunchbox. I took me some lunch and snacks and everything else, and I was good for the day. Plus, I think the center had places where you could get something to drink, or this, that, and the other too. I think they had machines.
oh,
So-
well, yeah, in yours, but not at mine.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, but we did, the pastor was very kind, and he went over to KFC. The first time I worked, I didn't realize, I just figured, oh, we'll just call a local restaurant or something. And it's like, well, yeah, but the location I was at, no, there's no deliveries. But anyway, he ran over and got us some KFC. I got a bucket for everybody.
Well,
to
you're
share.
awesome. You're awesome.
So anyway, yeah, no, this has been fun. Any other questions for me on election integrity? How to become a candidate? I mean, you still have time till the 19th of February if you want to be a local candidate. You have until, I think it's March 10th or something close to that if you want to be a federal or state candidate.
And what is it for local?
February 19th. So that's coming up.
10 days. You got 10 days if you want to be
be on the school board or one of the clerk's positions. Still can be part of the process.
I just saw something. You said the school board. I just saw something. Something popped up on Facebook whenever I was able to take a short break where I was working at today. And a chancery, that's not really a judge, or are they a judge?
They're judges. They're appointed.
Okay.
They're appointed instead of being elected. Chancery Jefferson.
But they have gone against what they've said, that Shelby County Commission overstepped their bounds whenever they said that all the positions for the MSCS would go up for election. And I guess the primary is coming up, and then for August. So the 5 people that were upset that they were going to have to run again at the moment get to keep their seats. And then I think there was like 4 or 5 districts that can still go to the polls, but
yeah, so
it's
positions 2, 3, 4, 5, and I think it was 7. Don't quote me on that. You can look at again, elections, shelbytn.gov. They will say it, but I'm pretty sure it's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. The Shelby County Commission was going to truncate their 4-year term down to 2-year term in order to realign that all of the positions would be on the ballot at one time and correspond with the commission seats. So
Right.
they passed that resolution, and the judge voided that resolution.
Right. That
Um,
happened today, didn't it?
Yeah, actually, I was in court watching it. I
Oh,
watched it.
you had
So
first-hand knowledge.
I had I heard it when she said it, but she did not rule on the merits. There are other points that were not ruled on. I don't know where the case is going to go from here, but she did announce that the resolution was voided. But it's not really anything until it's in writing.
Right.
So, we have to see it in writing before you can really know anything.
I have a question from the chat. Where does Tennessee rank in election integrity?
Actually, I just got this beautiful brochure.
She just
I guess
happens
you
to
can't
have it.
see, or no, you can. I got this beautiful
I think it's
from the
upside.
state, so that you can see it. What is upside down? No, it was right side up.
It's right side up. It's the
And-
backwards, but it's right side up.
Okay, so can you see this right here?
A little bit. Oh yeah, right there.
Okay, so I'll read it to you.
Sure.
Election integrity, we were number 1 in 2022, 2023, 2024, and in 2025.
Number one.
We ranked number 1. Right here says it.
Cool. I guess that should make a lot of people feel a little bit better about.
Now there's always work to be done. There's
Right.
always things to be improved, but comparatively, and that's by the Heritage Foundation, by the way.
Okay.
They're pretty reputable organization. They do their homework, but we do it well here in Tennessee. We got
Even-
number 1 again.
Even with the machines that I really don't care for, but I just as soon scratch people's name on a thing and hand it to them, let them count it that day.
Yeah, but I got to be able to read it. So
I'm pretty good until I sign my name. Then it looks like a doctor's signature.
Yeah. So, well, we can have another discussion on the machines on another day. 'Cause
Sure.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, I'm sure.
I do encourage everybody, especially those that are going because they think, something's amiss. Watch the audit. Very few people do that. The first audit I watched, I was the only citizen to go in there and watch. It's a very long day as well. But you can just see how that audit process works and how to count those ballots. I encourage you to do that. And then you're going to see we do it well here in Shelby County. We should have confidence in it.
You can you see the chat, or do I not?
No, I cannot. Oh, maybe if I hit this button. Let me see if I hit this button.
Show the chat.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, yeah, you can see the.
Friends, let's not hold back on asking Justin on motives. Okay. I can't do anything about Justin.
I don't think anybody can.
Where does Tennessee rank? Thank you, Linda. We ranked number 1. Number 1. Vernon, great podcast. Good job, Dean. Give me a minute. I'll pop up the screen.
Yeah, that was some of the stuff from earlier.
Against candidates having cookouts with free food. Nope. Nope.
I didn't realize you could pop it up on your end.
Yeah.
See, I'm still learning. But
all right. Count me in. Oh, count me in. Who's going to do that?
That was I think that was Linda and
Linda, good. You and Bill both. Get Bill to do it too. And your kids. You got some kids. Tell them.
Have you ever watched the Patriot Punk Network? their podcast?
I do. Luke was just on that thinking
I
of
know. Look, that was. I mean, all of their podcasts are great, but I mean, you've really got to pull for the hometown guy. And I mean, that was one of the best podcasts. And these guys have been doing it for a long time. But I do have to say, thank you, Robert Chase Matheson and Daniel Wagner, for continuing to help me with mine, because I mean, they have done so much for me, show me where to go, how to do things, how to improve my my skills. And they make me, want to do this more often. And do a lot of research. I still have my daytime job, so I can't do the research that that I'd like to do at times. And that's why, if anybody out there has questions, or I've had people tell me that they would pay for and file FOIAs for me on certain things. So, anything that, like they said,
FOIAs don't cost you anything.
oh, they don't?
Yeah. No, you can put in a FOIA request. If you go to on the Shelby County website, you go to the mayor hot. All you have to do is put in Freedom of Information Act,
Right.
Shelby County, and it's going to come up. Do you want to file a complaint, or a request? Either way, right?
Okay.
Because that's where you can put in for like potholes and then also, hey, I would like this documentation or that. A lot of the documents on Shelby County are actually on the website, especially if you want to hit, the sheriff's website. If you hit the county assessor's website,
Right.
you can hit, property searches. And then if you're inside the city of Memphis, there's also, you can put in a request there, but they're free. They're absolutely free. In fact, I just got one back that I had put in. Now sometimes they'll send you a little note because they have to get it back to you in 5 to 7 working days. But if they need more time, they will send you an email back and say, hey, we need some more time, to pull whatever you're pulling. But when I worked on the de-annexation, which really is what compelled me to be
Right.
very involved, the first 2 years I did nothing but research, and I pulled 4,600 documents that I could tell you who did what, when, where, why, all the way back to 1960s, and just in the genre of property.
Right.
So you can pull all that stuff off. I didn't pay a single dime. 4,600 documents, not a dime.
And that was just online, or?
Yeah, I put in the request online.
Oh, okay.
So you can go to Shelby County government website, just Google it, and then just put in, I want Freedom of Information FOIA, right? FOIA. And just type in, they'll ask you questions, your name, your contact information. If you want printed copies, they do charge you, I think, a dime a copy, but why do you need that when you've got a screen and you get it digitally?
Okay. Well, I'll be talking to you more about that to look things up.
Yeah. No, there's lots and lots and lots of information right there. You can hit the archives. You can go down on the 3rd floor of the old courtroom. And if you want to look up some laws, there's a law library. We as citizens are allowed to go in and use that law library.
Okay.
So there are a lot of resources that you can just pull off right online.
Cool. And Sherry says you can submit public records request to the Election Commission as well.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I've done that before.
You can request records from the beer boards.
Really?
Yeah.
So what is it that costs people so much money sometimes if they're looking into like an investigation or something like that? Why does like a records request or something like that? Why would that cost them money?
So if they want paper copies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That
way they can study it over.
Yeah. That will cost you, to get that, I want to swing by the police on, John Doe or whatever. And then you get there and John Doe's files this big and you're paying a dime per copy, you're going to blow some money, right?
Right.
But if you ask for that, there's certain things you cannot get. Like you're not going to be able to get, documentations on child custody, or, if there's something that needs to be redacted for whatever reason,
Okay.
there has to be a legitimate reason for it. But even all the way up to Trey Hargett, you can go to the Secretary website on the state level and request things. I mean, anybody who sends me something to my official county commission or the election, not county commission, the election commission emails, they are subject to FOIA requests. So if you correspond, as I think you said, Sherry Pyron,
Yes.
who says you can put in FOIA requests for the election commission, you can say, I want Patty's emails. Better use Patricia Possel to make sure you get the right Patty.
And you're the only one in America, right?
I am. North America. All of it. Mexico, Canada. I'm the only one.
Wow. Are you still looking at the chat? Do you still have the chat up?
I got, yeah. Dean, I will sign up and work with you on location.
Oh,
in the United
scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Hi. Those like buttons, share and follow. That. What else? Or maybe I should go up the other way.
Into the chat. I don't know which
State
way.
your voter roll. Oh, the state voter roll is $2,500 per month. Yeah, that's different. That does cost. I wish it didn't, but it does. But you can get just Shelby counties if you want for $40.
There you go.
So,
Well,
depends on what you want to do, right?
Right. Depending on what you're looking for, whether you're wanting every county of the state or just your
That's
county.
right.
And
if you're doing research on 600,000 people, you're only you yourself, I'd say stay local. And, it's kind of like all politics are local, really.
Yep,
It's really hard to get stuff out of DC. But if you know where your county commissioner, your city councilman, your mayor, I know where the criminal court clerk lives because she's right down the street from me. I wouldn't hesitate. Hey, man, I need some.
Is that Tirade Tammy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she's General Sessions court clerk.
Oh, okay. No, yeah. I mean, that's the phrase that Chase and Daniel use all the time. All politics are local.
That's
And
right.
that's why I wanted to do this podcast, because there's a few people around here. There's a guy by the name of Jennings Bernard, and he's on every day from 5 to 6. But I thought it was time that instead of just putting something on social medias, bring the people on in Memphis and Shelby County, maybe even some of the surrounding counties, DeSoto, Fayette, Tipton, and
West Memphis,
West Memphis,
Arkansas.
yeah. Just everywhere
Right.
that touches Memphis and Shelby County.
That's right.
And then I'll do a lighter side where I talk to people about have musicians on or artists on. I've got an artist coming on a Saturday, the 21st, and just lighter side because I do have a lot of hair, but I don't want to pull it out on politics all the time.
No, but one of the things I did when I ran for State House and I was door knocking, in that particular year, I actually hit more doors than any other candidate across the state. So I hit a lot of doors.
Right.
And when I came across people who were small business owners, number one, I was so surprised how many I met that were small business. I would do a selfie with them, and then I would promote whatever their business is, whether it was coffee, whether it was Tupperware sales, whether it was, car detailing,
Right.
whatever their genre was for their business. I promoted that, and it's sometimes having those niche businesses here, they're resources.
Right.
and they can grow, Bluff City soap. I mean, that's right here in our backyard.
Right.
And where was I traveling? Was I in Texas here recently? No, maybe Colorado. I walked into a store and there was some Bluff City soap, and I thought, "Ooh, is that a copycat?" And it's
Right.
like, no, it's Bluff City soap, as in, from my hometown.
Right.
My
Oh, that's good.
not my hometown, but where I live now.
Right.
Town. So, um, I was proud to see our small businesses grow along those lines, and the only way they grow is if we all, shop local.
That's right.
And
That's
more
right.
money stays in here if we shop local and promote those artists, promote those small business entrepreneurs.
Right.
I think so. It's great.
I found a place, I don't know, last year. It's Adobe Ranch, and they're in Olive Branch, and they're I mean, Angus beef.
Yeah.
It's
Big
everything,
cow.
big cows. But they get chicken from another company there. Everything is farm raised, responsible, no antibiotics, no mRNAs, nothing like that. And I told Chris at Adobe Ranch, I said, look, I said, I'd love to have you on the podcast. I said, I'll even promote, somebody comes in and maybe gets 10% off their stuff or whatever, if they mention my name. I said, but for my part, I want to be paid in beef. I don't want cash. I want beef because
I want your beef.
that's right. That's right. We just had 2 cowboy pork chops tonight from Adobe Ranch, and I mean they were fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So when I lived in Indiana, and the kids' school was 12 miles away because we kind of lived out a place, and I would do there's nothing but back roads, but I did back roads, and there was mostly it was really flat, but every once in a while you had a little tiny hill and then a curve. And this one little tiny hill and this curve, every time I came around it, there would be a big old Agnes cow just right there. And it's like, cow. I always felt like I was going to, run right into them, but you made the hairpin turn and go around. But they would line the fence right there. And it's like, I've never seen, I spent the first 10 years of my life on a farm. Our cows weren't that big.
Right.
These cows are
Massive.
You get those black Agnes cows, and they're just beefy, which is good because I like beef.
Right.
We're
Right.
beef.
Right. Well,
It's
Patty,
good. Okay.
I appreciate you being on tonight, and
You're welcome. Thanks.
you were very informative. And people, it is it's not, you said it's not just a privilege. It is a
responsibility.
responsibility. If you can vote, you need to get out and vote and do your civic duty. And
if you can't get out to vote, you can pull an absentee ballot.
oh, you can? Okay.
Oh yeah. There are I think 17 reasons. But if you're incapacitated because you broke your leg, or you just had rotator cuff surgery and you can't get out, or you've got it scheduled and you're not going to get out, you can pull for an absentee ballot. And absolutely, there's no reason. My husband had to travel out of the country sometimes, and he would be gone 6 weeks at a time. He pulled an absentee ballot, had it sent over to him. He sent it back in. So we make it as easy as possible to vote. There's no reason only 22% of those registered are voting.
Right.
We should, when people get out during election, presidential years, we're closer we're in the 60s and 68, 64% get out then. So if you can get out then, again, politics is local. Get out and vote for these local candidates. And if you want to be part of the process, again, we need 400 workers, right? Poll workers. Go to elections with an S. So you got double S's, shelbytn.gov.
Thank you,
Or
Patty.
you can call me. If you Google me, my number will come up. Give me a call and I'll step you through.
Kristen Roberts just posted. She said, I need to sign up to work for the polls.
Yes.
Kristen knew.
Yes, please do, Kristen. Right there. electionsshelbytn.gov. Register today. Go take your training class. You'll have a little money in your pocket. And you've got 3 opportunities this year, right? Because we have the May 5th, right?
May 5th. Uh-huh.
August 6th, and then November 3rd, I think it is.
Okay.
First Tuesday.
Write those dates on your calendar.
In November. Those 3 dates. And of course, get all your information on your candidates, your polling locations, check your voter registration, and again, electionsshelbytn.gov.
Patty,
Thank you, Dean.
I appreciate
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
I appreciate you being on tonight. It's been a very good one, and Kristen knew said I printed my form.
Oh, good. Send it in. Put, I love you, Patty. I'm only doing it for you. And I'll say, I love you too, Kristen. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Patty. You have a good evening,
You
and
too.
enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so much for coming on. And look, we will do this again, maybe for the actual August election or whatever, for the August deal.
May's 1st, and then August, and then November.
Right. And we can talk about those darned machines.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
All
You have a good evening. I'm going to drop you back in the
Thank you.
green room.
All right.
Take care.
Good night.
So there you have it. Let me come back up here to this one. A lot of good information from Patty. I mean, she is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to voting and everything that you need to do to vote. And like she said, I mean, I did it last year. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, everybody was very nice. Nobody was rude to anybody. And everything went smoothly. I mean, we didn't have any hiccups, not really any hiccups. I mean, there was a couple of people that came in, like we said, but overall, it's a fun time. It's a long day. So just be prepared. Wear your On Cloud tennis shoes or whatever your favorite tennis shoes are with the big wide soles that I think Kramer wore one time. That's such ugly shoes. Anyway, our next show coming up, the next Monday is Damon Curry Marcus. I think it's Morris, Damon Curry Morris. He is the professor, teacher that was at the MSCS debacle where people got to speak in front of everybody. I think that was Redmond, whatever his name is. Don't Mess With Me was there. And Joyce or whatever her name was, Coleman, he went over his 3-minute time, and she directed security to get him out. Well, they drug him out either by his legs or his feet. This gentleman walks with a cane. So he's slated up next for next Monday night. Guys, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all are such an encouragement, and I appreciate everything. Y'all have a great evening.